Hey guys, welcome to 2022 and to my first custom LEGO minifigure showcase video, and this time we're taking a look at Boba Fett and Fennec Shand from the Book of Boba Fett, and after nearly 2 months of work, I finally completed both of them. Now, I really wasn't intending to delay this showcase as much as I have, but life just got in the way immediately. I was moving for a second time, and as it turns out, my education has finally started to take up most of my time, and especially at this point in my life, education must be a priority, so that naturally means I don't have the expendable hours to work on these like I used to. So while I would have liked to bring you these and the 3 Spider-Men from No Way Home by March, it just isn't feasible. That being said, I still wanted to make these 2 in honor of the show, even though it kinda fell flat on its face during the final episodes. Regardless, I had a great time making some more Star Wars figures, and I also finally got to use Nate Minifig's Boba Fett armor that I've had sitting on my desk for almost a year, so that was an exciting experience. But I think that's it for this introduction, so let's go ahead and take a look at these custom LEGO minifigures. I'm going to start off with Boba Fett, and I can tell you right now that I was really excited when it was announced that Tamira Morrison was going to be playing Boba Fett in both The Mandalorian and his own spin-off show. And, I mean, honestly, it's really amazing to see Boba Fett come back in the Star Wars canon and have so much more to do than just become a bounty hunter in the original trilogy and just kind of die unexpectedly. So seeing Boba Fett return, escape the Sarlacc, what an amazing experience and an amazing opportunity to make this minifigure. As I mentioned in the introduction, I used Nate Minifig's armor cast, and I got those a long time ago, just kind of sitting on my desk. I was going to use them whenever I was going to do Empire Strikes Back figures, but then I ended up pushing that back to this year, and I had a fresh, set to use, and it was a great opportunity to make Boba Fett in his new armor on Tatooine. You can also say this figure is kind of a collaboratory piece because I also used some pieces from Tomino. I didn't feel like sculpting onto the arm gauntlets, and so what I decided to do is use one of the Bad Batch Tomino armor molds that I have, because I have plenty of those that I never ended up making in the summer, and I just kind of put them on Boba Fett, and they actually look really nice. They really resemble his arm gauntlets, and I'm really happy with them. I also added this little, the rocket piece, or the flamethrower, whatever it is, right there on the arm, and it looks really nice. There's a lot of deep detail that I kind of threw on there. It is very simplistic as my new style goes, but it also looks really accurate. All the black lining looks really nice. There's even some little indents here that look really cool, and then all the rocket stuff on this side looks really nice. There's even some wiring that runs up to the shoulder, which looks really great. The shoulder pads, I might add, are sculpted as well, and there's even a bit on the top of that to kind of add the robes that go over it. I painted on the insignia on the right arm there, or the left arm, my bad, and I think it came out really nice. There's also an electrical tape kind of band that goes around each arm. It's to give the illusion of additional layering, and I think it came out really nice. This figure also has a lot of sculpting, and I kind of decided going into it that I wanted to mash up the versions from The Mandalorian Season 2 and The Book of Boba Fett. So one thing you'll do notice that he has the boots from The Book of Boba Fett, but he also has, the baggy pants. That was something that was in The Mandalorian Season 2, and that he no longer has in The Book of Boba Fett, but I decided to give him a, some sculpted pants regardless, because they do look really nice. So I kind of ended up mishmatching the figures or the designs. I even also kind of did the belt design is from the Book of Boba Fett, while these robe pieces, for instance, are kind of Mandalorian Season 2 style. So there's a little bit of a design mashup with this figure, which I think is really nice. It's really unique among Boba Fett figures right now, so I'm really happy with it. But this minifigure really wouldn't look as good as it does without the help of Nate Minifig's awesome 3D casts. You see that the chest armor is a 3D piece, the helmet and also the antenna up here is also 3-dimensional, and also back here, the jetpack, that's another 3D printed piece by Nate Minifigures. It's really amazing that we have someone in this community that's making this stuff, because I for sure wasn't going to use one of LEGO's helmets to do this, and I suppose I could have used a third-party piece or something, but being able to use, a LEGO fan's creation is really a joy in this community, and I'm really happy with it. The gun also, I honestly forget what this gun is called. I ordered this a long time ago, but I believe it came from Brick Arms, or maybe it was Eclipse Graphics. It was one or the other. I'll definitely put a kind of a throw up a tag or something just to give the name of this weapon, because I completely forgot what it was. But I painted it in its own details. I also added some 3-dimensional elements down here. That all looks really nice, and I basically wanted to keep this very simple, so I just put some gunmetal accents on some of the bits here and left it alone. I think it came out really nice. And of course the helmet also looks really nice. I'm really proud of these orange stripes that run along the top, and also the gold piece over here, because this color is very a light gold, which I think looks really nice. And also all the weathering that I kind of did. Weathering is not my favorite thing to do in the community, and so I kind of just had some fun adding some light gray, silver highlights, if you will, and did my best to make it look really weathered. And I think it does resemble the character really nice. The sculpted, like the robes up here, the sculpted bits also look really cool. And removing his helmet, I do have a custom painted Temuera Morrison head based off of the official Lego print. This was something that I knew I really had to do. There's no way I was just not going to make Temuera Morrison's likeness, and so I just painted that up maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was a long time ago, but it came out really nice, and even my roommates really liked it, which was really cool that they gave me that kind of support. But it is fully painted, and it does look really nice on top of that. One last detail that I'd love to talk about before I move on to this to Fennec Shand is, of course, talk about the robes. So if I go ahead and very carefully take off these pieces, I'll kind of show you how the 3D robes work. And just removing this kind of reveals some more of the detail on the legs that you weren't able to see before, such as the holster, which has its own set of details, and also the piece down here. And you can get a better idea of the shoes that I painted, or rather the boots. But yeah, this piece, it just fell off. There's 2 different pieces of the fabric waistcoat. It's essentially black fabric. I make these all the time now. I'm kind of getting skilled at these, and they're just completely custom. They were meant to resemble official Lego patterns, and if I remember how I put this on, because it's actually been a while, I believe it goes on like this, and this piece, which is just the back, this goes on, it hides everything in the back, which, I mean, there's not really a lot of detail that happens back there anyway. So there we go. And then I can go ahead and put the figure back together and hopefully not scratch the painted head that I did. But other than that, that is Boba Fett in his season. No, I'm sorry. It is correct. It's the season 2 of The Mandalorian, but also the Book of Boba Fett armor. Really happy with this one. And here is Fennec Shand, and I am so excited to be able to show you this minifigure because I love her design in the Star Wars canon. Except that making it was actually a lot of hard work. You see, I was really intimidated because there is a lot of line work, specifically orange and black lining, that I was not willing to do, and so I was trying to find a way around doing that, essentially. And I remember seeing images of customs back in the day where they would basically get away with doing lines by using thin strips of electrical tape, and I thought this was a great experiment to try that style. And so you can kind of tell that the lining on not only the legs but the arms, I mean, that is electrical tape. I did not paint that, and it creates a very smooth texture. Also, the detail down here, the wraps that go on the bottom of the waist of the torso, essentially, those are also 3-dimensional, and they basically are static, and I just painted them pavement to kind of give the illusion of thin lines when really I probably can't paint that. However, the waistcoat I did paint, so that was something that I did do. But yeah, this was a great use of the minifigure. I really was excited to be able to work on this thing, and I think it came out really nice. Some of my favorite parts are actually these outlined pieces, which are, you know, the arms and all that, for instance. And there's even a lot of detail on the back, but specifically there's the shoulder pads, which look really nice, and even the electrical tape goes to the outsides, which is something that I'm not very fond of, but it's, you know, all right for the most part. I was honestly not really wanting to paint all of this outlining. It was something that I didn't think I had the time for or the patience, and I decided to just very quickly do this. This piece, I guess the pad down here and also the pad on the top, those are both sculpted and look really nice. And the gun, very similar to Boba Fett. I don't remember what this is. I got this a long time ago in anticipation for this project, and then it just kind of got on the back burner. But it does look really nice. Specifically, I love the it's also from Eclipse Graphics, I should say, but this just looks really nice. This piece right here, the chain, I guess you could say, that is a piece of fabric, and then all these pieces are rubber that I glued on, and they look really nice. But I just kind of added there's some pavement detailing there, and also gunmetal highlights to make it look really nice. You might also notice that the arm is very loose because I did not want to damage the torso, and I hope that's not going to be a very big issue, but it does look really nice in the minifigure. She also has the sculpted braid up there on the top of the torso. That was something that I was also intimidated by. I simply sculpted very thin layers of Sculpey, let them dry, and then I basically wrapped them around each other and sculpted the bands and all that, and they look really nice, I gotta say. They do run up to the torso, which I'll show when I take the helmet off. They do run up to the top of the torso there, but it just stops, and there's no additional hairpiece for Fennec Shand. That's not something that I did or really had time for. I know Nate Minifigs made a really awesome 3D print, but I just didn't really think it was necessary to go ahead and give her a hairpiece, since I really like the helmet. I think that it's kind of the biggest part of the minifigure, and this came out, it came out fine. I wanted to do a lot more detail to it, but similarly, I did not want to paint black onto orange, and I kept it very simplistic, giving it simply an outline and a little bit more details up on the top, and then called it a day, painted the rest of the chin piece, or I guess the mouth piece, and that came out really smooth, really fantastic. She also has these 3D elements. These are very like electrical tape, and I wrapped them around each other, and it kind of gives that little bit of a shoulder pads, which look really nice. They stick out and look really fantastic. I guess I'll go ahead and show you the head. This head is not Official's Lego head. It's a bootleg likeness, and it still honestly looks fine the way it is. The alternate expression also is it's fine. I think it came out, it's whatever. And also, here's a look at the back of the torso, if I didn't talk about it before. Very simplistic. I did not want to do a whole lot. And also, you can see how the hair goes up to the head and just abruptly stops. There is no hairpiece for this minifigure, and I don't think I'm ever going to give her one. So, I mean, it's alright. And one other detail that I want to show you before I end off this segment is go ahead and take off the torso. There we go. And I'll go ahead and show you the waistcoat, which, well, this piece is, waistcoat just comes off, no problem. But this piece is glued onto the waist of the torso, and also there's a piece on the back that is just gunmetal, nothing crazy. And then the waistcoat itself here is very simplistic. It's got a bit of an outlined gray piece, and then if I unfold it just to show you, come on, it's not cooperating. There we go. That's what it looks like. And yeah, it just kind of goes over like so. Very simplistic robe. Waistcoat, and it does look really nice. And to go to the back, there it is. Wow, wonderful. It is kind of sticking up, but you need the the rest of the minifigure to really get that down. And there we go. Fennec Shand. Really nice minifigure. I really liked her parts in not only The Bad Batch, but also Mandalorian Season 2 and Book of Boba Fett. It's something that I kind of failed to mention with Boba Fett, is that I have, for whatever reason, neglected making minifigures of the live-action Disney Star Wars shows, which is really disappointing because they are not always the best content, but still really creatively inspiring, and I'm really grateful that I'm able to produce this stuff now, now that I have the time, because it was something that I was not doing before, and I opted for other projects, which, in hindsight, I kind of, I regret doing that. So yeah, really excited to be able to make Fennec Shand and Boba Fett, and hopefully I'll continue down the line with some more Mandalorian figures. I'm really hoping to do Din Djarin, and of course Bo-Katan, and maybe Casca Reeves. There's a whole lot of minifigures that I'd love to work on at some point, but we're going to see what that looks like, what the future holds for minifigures. So that's it for Fennec Shand, and let's go ahead and wrap up this video. That's going to be it for this showcase video. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any thoughts, questions, or critiques, be sure to let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Or if you simply enjoyed this video, let me know by hitting a like. That would be very much appreciated. Also, be sure to check out my social media pages to stay up to date on upcoming figures, or even just to see what I'm planning next. While I may not be consistently making figures anymore, I'm always active on Instagram, and you can easily pop in and say hey over there. But as for what I'm planning next, that's a bit hard to discuss. Technically, I'm working on figures from The Batman, and progress has been kind of steady, but I can't guarantee I'll be able to finish those guys on time for March 3rd. Catwoman is basically done, but I'm still waiting on an order so I can finish up the new Battinson armor and the Riddler if I even have time to make them in the first place. But I'm really looking forward to that showcase whenever I can film it. I'm going to go ahead and throw a very rough estimate out there and say that it might be sometime in late March, but we'll see what happens. Life will be life. As always, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.